Hey up troops, it's alyttleton here again with another video, and this time looking at how to defend Nighthaven Labs. Labs is the most recent map to be added to Siege, and I think generally in the community it's gone down pretty well. Certainly gone down better than Emerald Plains did. However, I have a theory as to why that is. People were banning Emerald Plains and couldn't be bothered to learn it, so they didn't think it was a good map. I actually think Plains is okay. However, with Nighthaven Labs, no one's been able to ban it, so people have been forced to play it, forced to learn it, and people have gone, actually, you know what, this isn't that bad. I feel if Emerald Plains you weren't able to ban it when that came out, I think people would have liked that more as well, but anyway, here we are. Now, I'm just going to get a quick caveat in this video, and I do mention this a few times throughout the video. Bear in mind, it came out this season. I've probably played the map 10, 15, maximum 20 times. So all the different angles and stuff that you learn as you play the map more will come out. I'll probably do a version 2 of this map in like another season or two's time once we've played the map a little bit more and learned a few more things about it. But I've included everything I know for now, except on one site. The last site, admittedly, don't tell anyone, right? But I've never actually played that site in any ranked game in my entire life. So I've set it up how I thought you would do, but I do mention it when we go through that site. Anyway, I think it's probably enough waffling for now, don't you? Let's get stuck into it. Okay, so let's get started with server and command, which is the top floor on Nighthaven Labs. And let me tell you, on this site, you could probably do with about 14 reinforcements in all honesty. But there's a couple of things that I do differently that I don't see people doing. This, for example, here, and we'll go through the reinforcements first. Let's go through into connector, through electrical. And bear in mind, by the way, it's a new map, obviously, so I'm not 100% on the call-out just yet. But the two connector walls, they're both external walls. And then the right-hand side of the connector into the server wall, or the left-hand side if you're in server. That's 3. Then we've got the what we call, I suppose, the main breach in IT. That's 5. Then we've got 6 and 7 in command center, going towards what people are calling sort of fish stairs or aquarium stairs. Then we've got 8 on the right-hand side of the command center wall, which goes out to the mez, which is here. And then we've got 9 and 10 on the mezzanine below. I think these are really important to reinforce because this area of the map here is key to holding control to most of this site, well, obviously on the south side of the map anyway. And leaving these two walls soft just gives the attackers so much chance to just have a million different angles on anyone defending this area here. Defending here is pretty difficult. You've got to worry about the door, the breach, which is inevitably going to get open. You've got the breach downstairs, which will probably get open, and then this door here. It's a really difficult place to play, but it's a really important place to play. In terms of rotates then, we're going to make a rotate here, and I'll come on to Y in just a second. Have a rotate there. We have a rotate here. Actually make a rotate. And we're going to have feet holes all the way along here. But don't make them too high. Open the hatch, just in case you need a quick escape. And that's pretty much it for around the site. Now, the reason that we don't fully reinforce this, we only reinforce one side. Now, just could go off on a tangent here just for a change. That's not what we normally do on this channel, but well, if you've only got one reinforcement spare, don't reinforce this wall. So I know this is a bad example because I've got no reinforcement spare, but ideally what you do is, you know, like on Oregon Elbow, where you hold it for a little while, and then if you feel too much pressure, you can back off and you can reinforce this wall. I would treat it a little bit like that. You're definitely going to need wall denial of some variety on this wall. Oh, and sorry, I forgot one line of sight. And also make that line of sight as well. People absolutely love jumping in that window there. And you're going to need somebody holding connector, so you can hold down towards the meeting door and out towards the door underneath the default cam there. But also you can hold the jump in into meeting. And if no one's jumping in there, you can hold the window on the other side as well. You want to be holding this area here. This is a really important area to hold. Definitely get some wall denial on there. Just be careful you don't get cut off from the window on your way back. That's why we make this rotate here. So you can go back that way if you need to. When it comes to the other areas of the site, this breach is obvious to hold. By the way, a little mute trick here. You can put a mute jammer here and a mute jammer here, and it'll block off any drone. Put it a bit further over. It'll block off any drones being able to get through. The two mute jammer ranges cross over here, and no drones can get through there if you put 2 mute jammers there. A lot of people focus their attack through this breach. From the mez, you've just got to hold on for dear life and hope and pray. There's not really much of a way out because your only way back to site is either down or past the breach, which is now open. It's a bit like holding rafters on Clubhouse. You're probably going to die, but you want to try and delay them as much as possible. And then the feet holes there. When the guy on rafters inevitably dies, you can hold off angles from here. You can cover your own feet, and you can hold an angle from here for when people go through the door. And they can't see you. You just got to watch this side. I actually think this side of the map, through fish stairs or CC stairs, whatever you want to call it, is actually a really underrated way of attacking this site. Do you know how easy it is as an attacker to come from here as ace, right? You come in here, and you throw your ace Salma at that wall there, and that's your wall to site open. The thing is, you've got no angles to worry about here. The only place you've got to worry about is this door and these stairs, and you can drone that out in a matter of seconds. But for some reason, everybody forces and focuses their attention on the other side of the map. I find that a lot in Siege. Like, there's a lot of, you know, on CC on Clubhouse, for example, everybody forces the main breach, don't they? Very few people, unless you look in the upper elo levels or the comp brackets, pushes cash and pushes construction into cash. But I think it's a better push and an easier push personally. You don't have to clear rafters for one. You sort of do, but you don't at the same time. Right, so yeah, that's server and command center. Okay, we're downstairs in basement now in assembly, and I'm going to start with the reinforcements again. We've used 7 so far, although this is up for debate. The first 2 I'm just going to show you on the camera rather than running up there are, again, the warehouse / mezzanine, 2 walls at the bottom there, and I'll come on to why shortly. So there's 2. 3 and 4 is on the assembly wall. 5 is the single wall in the adjacent room, Animus, I think that's cool. 6 is this wall here. And 7 is this wall here. I mean, the call-outs are wild at the minute, like nanotech, Animus. Well, I don't know what kind of call-outs they are. I'm sure things will develop over time, but for now, yeah, those are the reinforcements. Now, when it comes to lines of sight and rotates, you want to make a line of sight here. I've already made some feet holes, so you'll have to forgive me. You want to make feet holes here. You also want to make feet holes here. Then, now either a rotate or a line of sight here. I'm going to go with a line of sight for now, but potentially a rotate there. And then we'll go upstairs in a second. But oh, sorry, and one more line of sight here. Sorry, apologies. Right, so let's just run through why we've just made those holes. So the reason we make the lines of sight is now you can hold the breach from here. You've got somewhere to hide behind that's safe. Ideally, if in an ideal world, if mirror isn't banned, you'd put a mirror here, and then you can just watch this whole area. So you can now hold the breach from behind here. Now also, the reason we're making these lines of sight is if you go behind this counter here, they're the stairs. Let me just show you. If I go prone, you can see the stairs. You see there the stairs on the way down there? With this line of sight from here, you can completely see almost an entire half of someone's body here when they get to the bottom of the stairs, and they will not be able to see you. They'll be able to see to about here through this line of sight. And if you crouch, you can see anyone coming down those stairs. Exactly the same reason we make the line of sight here. You can see the bottom of the stairs here, or if you want to hold in here, you can see the bottom of the stairs there as well. Now, if you come down these stairs, just to give you an example, you know what I mean? On your way down, from all of those angles I've just shown you, you're going to be able to see my feet right now. And we can see literally nothing from those lines of sight. So you can almost hold that stairway and with one person from a couple of different angles. Now, in Exosuit, I recommend playing somebody in Exosuit around here. 1, to hold these stairs, but 2, you can also hold the breach and the default plan, which people seem to be using here. And you can also hold this breach from here, but this is a really strong part of the map to hold. If need be, obviously, you can go and use the same feet holes here to hold those stairs if anyone comes down. This is a really strong area to hold. Now, I haven't reinforced the hatch up in warehouse, and I'll show you why. I think you should have somebody playing on the warehouse rafters. Because, again, it's another really important area of the map. This is the hatch that's above the single wall in Animus. If I can get my bearings right. Where are we here? That's the single wall there. So what you'll find is attackers often push up here and try and get vertical to stop people bandit tricking this or whatever. However, you've got someone up on rafters. You can hold that from there. You know, you can get a really good line of sight down there. You can hold it from above if anyone pushes in certain areas from the hatch. But as an attacker, if you know that hatch is open, you know someone's above, you've got to go and clear them out above. Otherwise, towards the end of the round, they're just going to drop down, and when you start pushing in, it's absolute free cheese for them. Now, bear in mind on this site, if we just drop back down now, almost all of the ceiling is soft. A lot of the ceiling is soft, so vertical play is super important. So you've got to have somebody playing upstairs to protect your vertical play. Oh, we haven't talked about this line of sight, because from here you can hold this, but also you can hold this from here. Just gives you another wall to be able to see through. Maybe even make a rotate here, perhaps. It's a difficult one. Like I said at the beginning, Luke, I've played this map sort of 20 times, 15, 20 times this season, maybe. And we're still learning every time we play it. You know, there's more angles that you'll learn. But yeah, these stairs are a big one, being able to cover that. The reason we make this line of sight or a rotate here is because you can hold the stairs from here as well. A bit like how you've got the safe angle from here, you've got the stairs from here. Obviously, don't stand here if that breach is open, because you're going to get smoked. You can stand further back, and you can still hold the stairs from further back, and you can take cover behind this. Obviously, you've just got to watch the stairs. So it's a difficult area to play this, because there's like 3 different angles you could be exposed to, so you just got to be aware of it. But I'm not actually a massive fan of the basement. I feel if you get the breach sorted, if you can stop the animus wall or the assembly wall being opened, you're pretty much free down here, because you can just, the only other way down is 1 hatch and 2 stairways. Yes, there is another hatch, but it's outside over here. Like, it's 1 hatch and 2 stairways, and we've already discussed how easy it is to cover this stairway. And all you've got to then worry about is this stairway. And then there's literally no other way of getting down here. So it can be a good site, but if this wall gets opened, it's a struggle to hold on to it. So you just got to... I mean, bandit tricking is easy enough because you can't get grenaded from below, but obviously you've got to worry about people above you. Now, if you've got somebody playing above on Mez, you're going to be safer there. So, yeah, I don't hate the site. It's fun to play, I think, but I still don't think it's the most... If this map was put into comp, I don't think this site would be played all that much, personally, but I don't know. It's early days yet. But anyway, that's basement. Okay, so we're down in kitchen cafeteria then, and this site I'm really torn on, and I'll go into why, obviously. So, in terms of reinforcements, I've only used 6, although this is up for debate. 1, 2 from cafe through to the main door. 3 and 4 into the corridor from cafe. And then I've actually reinforced again the same walls that we've talked about so far over in storage. In warehouse, sorry. The two external walls there on Mez. Now, the reason I'm torn on this site is because I actually find it a really fun site to play. There's an argument about whether these walls should be reinforced. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to let you make your own mind up, because I honestly don't know the answer. Now, the issue with this site is in this sort of freezer area, or pantry area, sorry, there's a hatch. Now, the problem with this hatch is it goes straight to the roof. So attackers can open that hatch. You can't reinforce it, obviously, because it's an external hatch. You can't get up there. Well, you can get up there, but obviously you wouldn't reinforce it because you can't go out until the round starts. So... it's an interesting point, actually. I've just made myself second-guess myself. You know what? Whilst we're recording, I'm going to test something. I'm going to see, at the start of the round, could you jump out and reinforce that hatch? And then jump back into meeting? Or electrical, sorry. I'm going to test it right now. So the round starts. Round starts.
Your location has been compromised.
You run out here. Reinforce the hatch. And you run back. It's going to be tight, isn't it? Because the attackers spawn over there, or can spawn over there, and then come up the hatch, come up the... I think you just run straight back. You know what? I think you can do it if you run straight into meeting. I know, I've just come up with a strat. I've literally just come up with a strat. Right there and then. So start around, you jump out, you run across, you reinforce the hatch. You go back across, and you get back in. I think that's doable. I'm going to test that in the game. Don't quote me on that, but I'm going to test that in the game. Anyway, back to the site. That's my issue with the site, is that hatch. I mean, even if it is reinforced, assuming the attackers bring hard breach, there's a hatch drop from the roof, which is a safe place for the attackers. They can drop straight into sight and be in a fairly well. And this is my worry. If you reinforce these 2 walls, when the attackers drop in, there's just no way of shooting anyone. I didn't mean to throw that C4, ignore me. If you were to make feet holes here, you could hold the drop. You know, like you do on coastline. So pretend this is coastline bathroom. You would shoot out feet holes into Hall of Fame, right? you'd have a defender playing out here, watching the drop. But here's not an easy place to play. There's a window, there's a staircase to the basements, and then through here is arguably the busiest area of the map, with another window behind there. So it's not an easy place to play, but you could watch the drop from there. I mean, I probably should have like figured this out before I made the video, right? But the beauty of Nighthaven, like I said at the start, is we've played it 15-20 times in ranked this season, and I'm learning as I go. So I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, in terms of rotates, you want to rotate to be as close as this left-hand side pillar as you can. I know we've got a door there, but make a rotate as well. What you then want to do is make a line of sight across the top, big enough to throw a C4 and the smoke through. Because what tends to happen is the attackers will drop that hatch. There's a really nice plant spot here. Behind this pillar, you're covered from this angle, and you can cover yourself from that angle to an extent if you tuck in tight in your plant. So, whilst I'm thinking about it, those feet holes could double up as another really good way of... another really good plant denial, because there's the stairs. So you could hold the stairs, and this stops the default plant as well. Interesting. So anyway, the reason we make that line of sight is then you can launch a C4. If you know someone's planting, you launch a C4 over. And it's good night Vienna to whoever's planting. Well, as long as you throw it far enough and you don't land it on the kitchen surface. You get me point. Other lines of sight and rotates. We make a little rotate here. It's so nice making rotates in those type of walls. It's so easy to make. The difficult thing with this site is there's not many places to feel safe. You've got to watch this drone hole, by the way. There's so many rats outside that hold this drone hole. It's like the one in Bathroom on Coastline. People just hold it for like 20 minutes. So yeah, if you are playing around here, stand up on this desk so you don't get your toes shot. Like, it is a fun site, isn't it? I'm thinking about though this freezer drop, and I think having someone playing these stairs is the way forward, you know. I know I'm supposed to tell you exactly what my thoughts are on how to win on this map on this video. However, you put something down here like a banshee or a goo mine or some barbed wire to cover you from below, so you know if you're getting pushed from below. And then you just hold these stairs. You hold that door. Put a shield here, maybe. Play smoke. Hold that door. The window. And then if someone does drop freezer, you can see. And then you can see into that default plant area we just talked about. Interesting. I think that's what I'm going to try and do, actually. So yeah, that's my idea about Cafe Kitchen. I know it's not much of an idea, and it's very much a work in progress, but that's all we've got for now. We're early days. I want to make sure I get that C4 throw down. That's much better, isn't it? Yeah, that's much better. So yeah, interesting side to play, but I don't know, that hatch really puts me off. Okay, we're on to control and storage now then. So this is storage, over there is control, and we have warehouse in the middle. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real, I've just said. I'm a 33-year-old man who just said, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I've never ever defended this site in all the time I've played Nighthaven Labs. So what I'm about to tell you is how I would set up the site, having ran around the site and knowing the map. But I haven't actually played it, so I don't know what it's going to play out like. In terms of reinforcements, we use 5. 1, 2, as that again, we've reinforced these same 2 walls every time now. 3, 4. And the 5th one. Wait, where am I going? It's in here. No, it's not. And the 5th one is the single wall here. 5. In terms of rotates, standard rotate between sites. The more I've set this site up, the more I think it's actually pretty good. And I'm going to suggest when we play ranked again that we play this site. Using this rotate, you get a free shield essentially. A free bit of cover that you can head glitch over. Or peek around. And you've got to worry about the window over there. Obviously, you've got to worry about the main breach, but you get a really nice window to play behind. I think this is going to be a really strong anchor point right here. So putting a shield somewhere here, you hold this door, and you hold the breach. The main worry is, of course, that there's a main breach that leads really close to the site, but also there's a door here that leads close to the site. Now, when I say these things, I have to bear in mind that if you think about Clubhouse, like Gym Jacuzzi has a breach that's probably closer to Gym than this is. And I'm like looking at this going, oh, I don't know, that breach is a little bit too close to the site for my liking. But then you think about other sites, and there's also other sites which have got breaches really close to the site. So I actually think this site might be worth a bash, you know, the more I look at it. But yeah, and you want to stand around. This is like a big anchor point for me here. Like I say, the breach and the door, put a shield somewhere here perhaps. You've then got to worry about the stairs behind you though, so you're going to want somebody playing in this area. There isn't much to do here. You could possibly even, if you're going to hold this area properly, possibly look at making a rotate there, but you've got to hold this area. Anyone coming from here, you don't want to just give them free access to this wall. So you've got to hold this, get some barbed at the bottom of these stairs and hold this area. They can also then support, if they need to, around here. But this site itself, this room, I think is pretty secure by this wall. Your main concern is this site really, and the hop in the window and stuff, but I think this site could really be worth a bash. Obviously you've got to have somebody playing up here, which again is probably the most unforgiving place to play in the whole map. You've got doors and windows everywhere. It's really difficult not to get your edge popped off all the time. By the way, people don't use this anywhere near enough, this window. When people are trying to clear mez, all you've got to do is have somebody on this window, pop it once, pop it, and just let the person on mez know there's somebody here, and then have the push come from like the door and the breach over here, and you clear it a lot easier. But once the defender knows there's somebody here, you don't even have to do anything. Don't hold this. Just punch the window and then literally get out of there, or shoot the window down like from here. Shoot the window down, then get on the drone for you guys. And if need be, pop through later on. But I'm going to try this site out. I mean, that's the best I can tell you for now. I know I've given you absolutely zero information there other than reinforce 5 walls and make 1 rotate. But you've got to have somebody upstairs. This is a really strong area here at the back of the site. Hold that window and this door. I think this could be a decent site to play. I think it'll be one of those sites that's a bit like open area on bank, where if you, as a 5, if you play it well, it's really difficult to attack. Whereas if you're just playing it with a load of solo queue random teammates, it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, sorry I can't give you much information on this site, but that's because I've never played it. So there we have it. It's Nighthaven Labs, and the way I defend those sites, well, the way I defend 3 sites, except the last one, which I've never defended, but I'm going forward because I actually think that might be a better site than Kitchen for the 3rd option, the tertiary site, as they say. But I'm not sure just yet. I need to try it out. As always, just a massive thank you for watching. I really appreciate everybody getting involved, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!